The recording and the YouTube. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Harden, Chairman of the Norwalk Parking Authority. Today is 10/27 to 2021. And it is 6:01. Start the Parking Authority meeting now with an agenda. Let me get that in front of me. All right. Excellent. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. I got it. Is there anyone in the Zoom world for public comments? Silence is a no, probably not.
I
Okay.
do not see anyone.
We'll leave that open to anyone, but that's okay. Yeah, me neither. All right. How about a quick discussion and action on the minutes from last month's meeting? I think I have one correction, Di. In my chairman's report, we met with the private parking guy with Mr. Emery. Not Mr. Travers.
Got it.
Okay. Anybody else have any other corrections? Make a motion then to pass as read. Eric, thank you. All those in favor? The minutes have been passed.
I'm abstaining because I was not there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you could still read them for typos and.
It was very exciting reading. Yeah, I did.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Next on the list, Chairman's report. I don't have much to do, but I do know that we're going to do a few new things under new business today, which is outstanding. Plow forward here with a couple of new ideas. I do want to dive right into, excuse me, right into the financial and operating report so that we can get to everything that we're doing tonight. So, Stathi, are you going to do the financial report for us tonight?
Yep, can do that with Rocky. Rocky, you want to?
Hey, Rocky.
We'll share the ops report.
Where are you? Oh, I see.
Oh.
I got you. No, I got you.
No, I had
That's
a
fine.
little sticky.
That's
on
fine.
my- A little better.
Yeah. You got a nice tan going. You should be showing it off. Do you want to share your
Work
screen?
outside.
Yeah.
Rocky, you want to share the screen, or if everybody has it? But while he's doing that, we'll we're still not doing so much comparison, even though it's on the report, to budget and to last year, because we know that we're up compared to last year, pretty much on anything because of COVID year. So
Mhm.
Rocky, maybe you want to go to those graphs on the, yeah. But parking revenue, we're, like I said, we're over budget year to date. The expenses are a little bit over, but overall, the fund balance is positive and well over budget. But when we compare to pre-COVID levels, that's what we've been trying to do lately to give us an indication of, how we're recovering. On the revenue side, we're compared to pre-COVID, that's year to date, September 2019. So a 3-month period. We're down almost 9% on revenue. Expenses are favorable to pre-COVID. And the fund balance is a little more significantly off compared to then, about almost 28%. And that's simply because at the time, when we're our typical operating year, when we're doing well, we squirrel away the fund balance until we get usually to the middle of the year, and then we can see what the outlook is going to be like for the remainder of the year, and then we start planning our projects and maintenance projects and other projects as well. So on the permit side, compared to pre-COVID, we're down about almost 19%, and most of that's really coming from Webster, Yankee Doodle, South Norwalk, East Norwalk, mainly the commuter related locations. On the transient side, demands have kind of come back. We're seeing more now that the trend lines following kind of seasonal trends, but we're off about 3% compared to pre-COVID, which I think is a win as far as I'm concerned. The revenue side's a little bit more off at 8%, but still on the right track. So overall, in the non-commuter locations, the operations and performance level has been healthy. In the commuter related locations, we're still recovering a little. South Norwalk, overflow is actually starting to get higher occupancy, which is good. And on the on-street side, that is surpassing our pre-COVID levels. So Rock, maybe you just want to scroll down now, and we'll just skip the individual locations unless you really want to go through each one, Mike. But
I want to ask you a question about the permits.
Yeah.
It was brought up last month that we're kind of holding place markers for permit holders that aren't paying for their permits anymore. And the question was, should we put those permits back out on the market and offer them to the people that we do still have on the list?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Rocky jump in here, but I think that is happening. Rocky?
Yes, Captain Mike, we're still offering the permit for the people that are still on the waiting list. But those are the people that still want to remain on the waiting list, based on the date they apply, and they still, they don't want to sign up, but they still don't want to lose their waiting priority.
So they're on the list. They're next to buy a permit. You offer them a permit, but they don't want to buy it yet, but they want to stay in that position on the list.
Correct. All of those people that are on the waiting list,
Yeah.
they still want to remain on the waiting list, but don't want to sign up. Now, if anybody comes in asking for a permit now at the South Norwalk train station, we accept them immediately. Even though there's a waiting list, we'll still accept them immediately.
Because all those folks on the waiting list have declined as of right now.
Correct.
So
Interesting.
basically, because they all
Yeah, it's really
they
interesting.
can remain on the list, but we're not gonna negatively impact somebody that really wants it.
Right,
So,
right.
Are
Yeah.
they under the impression that they can just request a permit and have it because they're on the list?
Well, it's still a waiting list. So let's say a bunch of other people outside the list decide to want parking, and Rocky authorizes it and we collect on them. Once we get to that sweet spot of where we were, say, pre-COVID, if somebody on that waiting list says now, hey, we're interested, I mean, there's a chance that Rocky could say, well, we've kind of, you're going to stay on it because we don't really have a spot
You missed your chance. Right.
now. Yeah.
Right.
That's the chance they take.
What's the
And
size?
And then,
But I guess my question is,
What?
are they clear? I mean, I could just see an instance where somebody thinks that they're holding their place in line when in reality they're not. And
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we are holding their place in line, but when they decide they do want it, if we have availability, they can have it.
And
yes,
they know that.
Let me ask a different question. If I were to go in tomorrow and say I want a space, am I going to get one or want a
Yeah.
permit?
And we
correct.
won't even charge you double, Tom.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I understand that, but I mean, if I call on the phone, are they gonna say, well, there's a 3-year waiting list, but come on down, we'll give you one?
No, if you call the office, they'll tell you, at this point, we're accepting, monthly parking immediately.
Okay.
And they won't put you on a waiting list. But now,
Okay.
when we get,
How many people are on the list?
it was about 200 right now on a waiting list for South Norwalk.
So
Well,
I wonder, do we
It's
want
almost like
to,
a misnomer. It's almost like a non-payment list right now.
right? Do we want to maybe think about, and obviously, this is something that we should probably figure out over time, not today, but maybe some sort of advertisement campaign, or maybe something on the website when you first go in that says, permits are now available. Maybe that will either A, make the people who are still waiting think, holy cow, I better grab this now. Or B, people who aren't reaching out because they just assume that the wait list is so long that they'll see a refresher going, oh, wow, there are permits available. Maybe I should try and grab one.
I think it's a great idea.
I think we need to do something, because I don't have the sense that this is clear. And somebody's going to be unhappy if they think they can just activate a permit, should all the available spaces be taken. So
Well, I
think
can't
we-
imagine, I can't imagine though, if you, Eric, I can't imagine though, if you stopped paying your permit for the last year, I can't imagine you have to believe that you can just restart it and you still own it.
No, I know, but
You know,
it sounds
I mean,
like we've had some dialogue, and they know they're still on the wait
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
they
to
also
answer-
know,
Eric, to answer your question, all these 200 people that are on the waiting list, we've already have a conversation with them that, at this point, there is a space for them to accept. But if they chose to, to stay on the waiting list, we also tell them at the time of your request, there might not be space available. So all 200 have been, reached out to, communicated to, and they know that when they come back, there's a possibility that there might not be space.
okay, and there's record of all of that. So you could look back and say on September 28th, we spoke to Joe Schmo and he declined to take a permit.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
This list used to be about 500, 600 people. So we've reached out to each and every one of them, and that's how we reduced it back to 200.
Okay. Okay,
Each
good.
one we communicated.
Yeah. Great. Having a
All right.
record is perfect. Excellent.
Yeah.
How many
So-
open spots do you have?
We usually have about 750, 755 permits at the South Norwalk. Right now, we're about 400, 450. So we got
So-
about 300.
If all 200 of those people walked in the door tomorrow and said, we're ready to pay, we could accommodate them.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, I think James's idea of advertising or just on the website is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
an
agree.
interesting thought. I like that idea. What about if we did something, if these people are, maybe there's a group of them that are waiting until the new year, or they're waiting to see what their job does over the next couple of months. What if we offered some sort of introductory discount, or a re-up discount, like the first month or the first 2 months is 30% off or something like that, and got them back in.
I mean, they're going to go in whenever they need to have a reason to commute.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's a slippery slope. I mean, it's a good concept. I understand what you're saying. But
Yeah.
once you do that, you open up a can of worms that people have already been paying. Like,
Yeah,
how come
yeah.
I'm not getting a discount and I've been paying all this time.
How
Yeah, that's
about
true.
saying you can keep your space, but to stay on the suspended list or whatever, you got to pay $5 or $10 a month.
That's interesting.
That's an
To
interesting
To hold
one.
your
What-
spot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to huddle up with James and have a little meeting of the minds and come up with some thoughts.
See, but then Tom, if I'm putting $10 a month in to hold my spot, when I'm ready, I better get a damn permit.
Well, that's true.
I think that tips the scale towards Eric's point a little
Sure.
bit about, oh shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to all these ideas, right? So I think Staffy's right. Well, I think we'll get together internally, me and Sirach and Staffy, and weigh some pros and cons, see what our best options are, and then we can come back to you guys and say, hey, here's.
I
what we
love the
thought.
advertising idea. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think at a minimum, James is right, that just something that says, hey, monthly parking is available, get it now, you know.
Yeah,
It's just a reminder, and maybe that'll attract some people or get some people back off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so back to where we were, we
Yep.
were talking about on-street being favorable, better than pre-COVID levels. So that's on 16. Yeah, thanks, Rob. And so
Jeez.
that has been one good sign, but that's related to the enforcement side of things too. So on the next page, you'll see, issuance has been decreasing, and it's really been as compliance has been increasing. So there is this correlation between enforcement and meter compliance, and I think that's part of what we're seeing and why there's that increased activity in the meters. I mean, we always talk about enforcement, being effective if it's consistent and reasonable, and I think that's where we're back to.
Talking about the Judd chart?
And then, yep, and now we're gonna go back, we're gonna hit the Judd chart next, which you do kind of see. I mean, and we have to preface this, Judd's chart has been reformulated. So it's now does not include the citations that are issued at the beaches like we talked about. And it also, we also took out the Norwalk PD tickets because since we were trying to make it as real or relevant to demands and activity, we pulled those out because they're enforcing really residential areas or areas that we don't usually enforce. So I think it's a little more relevant data now. So you can see that it's still, it's still higher than it was, but it's on the right track, and that's because now enforcement is becoming more consistent, and there is more compliance. So
Yeah, good. Thank you.
It's still high.
it's still,
Me.
yeah, it looks high when you see it on this graph because of the physical distance on the graph. But if
Sure.
you think about the number, we're talking about 2.5 tickets for every 100 parking sessions, right?
Mhm.
So if you look at it that way, maybe it's not as high as you you would otherwise think when you see the graph.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart on the bottom, or the spreadsheet where you have the percentage number, and it's trending down slowly. But when you compare it to past years, it's still pretty high.
I'd say,
Was it
yeah.
273, back in 2020, it was 1.53 in September. So
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think a part of that too is there's a lot of influx of people coming into Norwalk right now. Now that we're kind of coming out of COVID a little bit and things are getting a little more comfortable. I know especially when we're sitting in on citation hearings, there's a lot of out-of-towners that are coming in. So I think there's also a learning curve to the people that are coming into Norwalk who haven't been here before. So I think that might lend itself to not understanding the policies or not following the rules or thinking they can get away with it or whatever it is. So that might be why we're sitting a little higher than previous. But you can see the trends, like Stathi said. I think we're heading in the right direction. I expect that to get a little lower and plateau back somewhere south of that number. That's just my gut.
And Mike and Josh, what we're also doing is we're looking at the citations that are coming in, the hearings that are coming in, why they're coming in, try to calculate, are there any trends that we're seeing, and then trying to address those trends. If there's a confusion, then we go specifically after that. So if there is that learning curve, we want to take it into advanced signage or just some type of opportunity to do that. And I think we'll talk a little bit about that in a little while.
Okay. Thank you. And the customer courtesy card, we can move on if nobody had questions that. And we'll finish up with the customer courtesy program, which is is back to kind of normal, but for the month of September, it's a little higher than it would have otherwise been, and that's because of the rollout of the pay stations on Washington Street. So for the first week, we were issuing only courtesy cards. Then in the last, 3 weeks of the month, we were issuing courtesy cards prior to a citation being issued. So this is, a little abnormally high just because of that.
And that went, that program went really well received by the businesses there on Washington. I'm sure Rocky heard the feedback as well, but the businesses that I stopped into really did appreciate the grace period of the week to get used to not only that paying is different, you don't pay right at your car, but how to use the machine, because the people who frequent there are used to the single space. So I think that was really well received by the local business owners there.
Yeah, the ambassador program was a good job.
Excellent.
And that's really all I have to report. Pay by sell on the next page. It's recovered, and we're doing well with that program, and we expect that to continue. So I don't have
Excellent.
anything else to report. Oh, I'm sorry, Rocky. We have do you want to report on the project status report?
Yes. All right, this is, the projects completed for the month of September. And, we've, some repair that we needed to do for the AC unit at the South Norwalk train station. It was done by the vendor, and it was, cleaning and spraying coil condenser and coils, and then also removing debris and we had to also replace the motor. And there are 3 units at the South Norwalk train station, so this is one of it, and the other 2 also need to be repaired. So we have scheduled those for November to be replaced and repaired for the winter. And then we also have upgraded the existing camera on the eastbound side. We've completed that project. Also cleaned, the cleaning of the drainage at the South Norwalk train station was also completed in September. We've also painted a stairway lobby by the train station, and then replaced some bathroom equipment. Power wash windows. These are pictures that we've seen last month, but the job was completed. Power washing the windows and sidewalks. It was completed in the month of September. We also had a failing server at the Hovland Deck for the camera system that failed. So we have also repaired and completed that in the month of September. We've also repaired potholes at the Webster lot. It was safety hazard, so the maintenance team took care of that. Power washed the Main Street lot where we were been getting lots of complaints from customers. This is the area where actually Jim Travers helped out in reaching out to the police department, patrolling the area, but it is one area where most people just hang out and drink and throw all their stuff. So we're getting complaint from customers, so I kind of power wash that area. We've also cleaned the drainage.
Rocky, did that get any better?
It has improved a lot, Jim, and the police are patrolling that area. As soon as we call up, they'll show up right away. So it has improved a lot.
Okay, great. I just want to report back to the chief.
Yeah.
That's behind the medical business. That's on Main Street there on the corner.
That is correct. Yes.
Wall and okay, thank you.
Yep. We also cleaned up the drainage system for the Yankee Doodle Garage customer service for the conference room. We were getting a water backup into there, so we've also got that cleaned up. And we've also finished removal of the poles on River Street, and Wall Street and Main Street will follow for this in October and November. These are some updates for the ongoing projects, and also in that project we haven't visited any businesses for the month of September, so I don't have anything to report on business visits for in September. And the next part is Captain Mike's favorite part. These are jobs that were completed. This is the before and after pictures, and these are the doors to the station.
Pictures, baby.
Yeah, and this is after we painted the outside doors.
They look great.
Thanks.
They put like 3 or 4 coats on it. They sanded it. They make it good.
Yes, they did. And this is the removal of the cone barriers on River Street. This is after they got completed. And this was River Street cones have, poles have been removed fully. Next page is the pothole repair at the Webster lot. This is how it was. This is just one picture, but there were some more potholes, but this is, the guys repaired it at the parking lot. And these are some jobs that were at the South Overflow, the South Normal train station garage exits that we just cleaned up. This is before and after. And this is how it looks after it got removed. Those poles are on River Street. This is how it looked. So the guys cut these poles so they won't be hazard. So they just grind it, just to make flush with the concrete. And I know, and in the agenda, Jim, you're going to be there doing the branding, but these are. I just wanted to add some of the signs that we changed with our new logo. This is the Yankee Doodle Garage parking sign, and I also included the customer service cars with our new logo, and our letterheads have been updated with our new logo, and some of the websites have also been upgraded with the newer logo. And that's it. That's what I have for the month. Any question?
That's great. Thank you so much, Rocky.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you.
Jim, I know we're still in talks with South North train station glass. Has that gone anywhere last month or no? Those glass panels that are.
We are meeting, so we're meeting with the Desmond, the contract there and Capasso to get the quote for your local quote for the glass to see what we could do based on the price that will come in and the expenses that we believe that we should have in savings for the work that they're doing. We believe that we can get it into this project, so we should have more soon.
More news. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, Vanessa. It's nice to see you. We've missed you.
I'm sorry, I have been missing some of the meetings, but I miss you guys too. I haven't abandoned you though.
Just as a side note,
My
though,
heart
I
is
heard
still with the parking authority, don't worry.
good. As a quick side note, I got a great message from Enzo.
Thank you.
You heard.
I'm glad
you
to
heard
hear.
we sent him. Yeah, he's doing well.
He didn't tell me, they don't say anything, but they only call if they need money. That's the
Right.
only time. So, okay. Good to know. So I think I have to give you guys an update. We're just doing one project now. And I know Michael will update you guys on the other. So on the South Norwalk train station, we finally started the work there. One of the reasons why it got delayed a little bit is that the tricky part of this project is to get the force account with Metro North. It's a lot of back and forth of documents between the contractor and Metro North. So that's why there was a delay after we had a contract signed. But they're finally on site. They start power washing the building and they're going around. So they're on the Franklin Bates corner, so southwest corner, and then they're gonna move and they're gonna keep going and cleaning up the building. So the caulking color was picked, right? Jim helped us pick the color. My understanding is that the caulking arrived today. So they should be starting the caulking as early as tomorrow. Maybe they even have today, I'm not sure. And the plan is that they're gonna go backwards. So the power washing will happen in one direction while the caulking is happening on the other, only because they can use the lift at the same time. So they don't want to keep moving the lift back and forth. The idea is that we're going to continue this work until it's too cold that we cannot caulk. So as of now, they have plans to keep going unless the temperature gets to a point that the caulking cannot be applied. But we may be able to continue with power washing if we have the water still on. That's it.
And power washing and caulking is the full scope of this project right now.
No, this is really the big part of the project that I would say that takes more time. They also need to do a lot of most of the project is on the exterior of the facade, but they still have to do some sealing on the windows. They have to do a little bit they have to paint all the metal structures that are outside, but that is probably only happening now in the spring because of the temperatures. But the good thing is that this work does not affect much the inside of the building. So even if we have all the commuters back in the spring, it will be only few spaces that may need to be blocked. So it's not like when we did the other ones that we have a whole floor that we have to totally close. One of the reasons why sometimes we need to close some of the spaces will be because only if we don't want any debris or the water to get into the cars. What as of now hasn't been an issue.
Okay. Understand that. Okay, thank you very much. Anything else?
I think that the other one, Webster Lot, Mike can give you guys a better update than I can.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Mike, what do you got for us?
Okay, Webster Lot, we met with the contractor about a little bit over a week ago. They're mobilizing, getting ready to start. They'll probably be they're starting full blast next week. They'll be gonna keep it maybe take out 4 to 6 spaces at a time. Do the work and see how far they can get things done this year and don't want to get too far get too far out of stuff that they can't get it buttoned up for winter. And that's
Tell us exactly what they're doing. I mean, they're taking up the tarmac, right?
Yeah, they'll be taking up the 2 of the islands and putting in bioretention filters. Basically, it'll absorb the water and prevent it from getting into the storm drainage system. And then they'll also be putting some underground chambers in the driveway area. The underground chambers they probably won't be doing this year because of ordering difficulties and getting that in before winter. But they'll be working on the islands right now, and then they'll be also doing some plantings in the lot on the sidewalk area there towards the movie theater, and then they'll be repaving that area allotted when they're done at the end.
And the disruption during the project with all the the machinery and the guys and everything, you think
for most of the part they'll be able to maintain traffic through there, so there won't be any lane closures or anything like that. There'll be spots taken out here and there while they're working on the curbing. So they're saying maybe about 6 spots at a time. So the biggest disruption will be probably in the spring when they do the milling and paving, but that'll be relatively quick. And
okay.
Yeah, it looks like, so I did the walkthrough with the contractor, and it looks like, maximum of around 6 spaces we'll lose at a time. It's going to be a slow rollout for each section, so we don't disrupt too much.
Okay.
There won't be any complete lane closures. There may be a section that is two-way that may need to turn into one-way. That really depends on how things shake out. But for the most part, they've been very forthcoming with the information. So planning ahead and getting ahead of this thing's been pretty easy. So I think we're in good shape to start the project. Once we have that firm date of when we're hitting the ground running, I'm going to reach out to Ciroc, and we're going to schedule some time to hammer the businesses and do some walkthroughs to let them know, here's what's happening, here's how long it can take, here's the expected procedure, where we're going to start, how we're going to travel through the lot, where we're going to finish, just so they have an idea and they're not blindsided when we show up and start digging up the parking lot.
And that's spring. For the big, right?
No, they'll be doing some of the work now,
Yeah,
November, December.
November, December. And then, well, no, I mean the big stuff in the spring.
Most likely, yes.
You have a guest, Mike.
This dog is very, I don't know what's the matter. This is Olaf, everybody.
Hi, Olaf.
He's clinging to me like a Velcro. I don't know what's going on with the dog. What does he want? Here, he wants something. Take him. Yes, there you go. He
I
sometimes gets
think
very
he's smelling
needy,
lobster.
right? He's ready to have dinner. That's what he's looking for.
He wants a lobster roll. That's what he wants.
The rest of them. All right, sorry about that. All right, so awesome. That was 5. Number 6, new business. Let's talk about calf pasture. James?
Sure. So, one of the things that we touched on earlier was regarding citations, and Jim spoke about the looking at some of the common reasons for citations. And so what I've been doing with Laz is we sit down, we have the citation hearings. We've been having a lot of hearings lately to try and finish getting through the backlog from when we weren't doing it during COVID. And so part of what I was doing in there was documenting, where citations were coming from, where confusion was, or what the reasoning was, and seeing what we can do to help kind of settle that portion. Because, the last thing we want to do is write citations. It's necessary. It's something we have to do. But if we can make it more clear and obvious on how to park and where to park and how to pay, I think that benefits everybody. So part of that was one of the common things that I saw was calf pasture. There was a lot of confusion down there especially for non-Norwalk residents on what they need to do when they get down there, how they should proceed. So we went down, did a little bit of a walkthrough, and we were trying to put together something to present to the Parks and Rec, because this is it is Parks and Rec down there, but we are the parking experts. So I figured, what a great opportunity to kind of get in touch with them. I'm new, so it's nice to meet other departments as well and talk about, what we can do to help alleviate some of the citation issues down there. So that's something that we're working toward to present to them once we kind of finalize what our ideas are and see how they like it. And hopefully, once we have that done, we'd like to give it to them, present it to them, see how they like it. They can present it to their board as well, and we can go from there. But I think high overview, I think there's a lot that can be done there to help really streamline things and make things easier and simpler for the parkers, both resident and non-resident.
And Mike, I just want to also give a little credit where credit's due. So James did a great job of going down there, inventorying where our signages are now, looking at where our opportunities is, but also reaching out to people who he saw who were parking, going up to people who were there, asking them some questions, clarifying questions. So I think from a community outreach, did a great job, and I think really came up with a great plan that we could present to the Parks and Rec Department.
If I could just add oh, I'm sorry, Captain Mike, I think you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, the dog was barking.
Sorry. One of the things I did want to say is that I think it's positive step for us to be able to help with the signage because as you all know, the appeals go to our Maritime Garage office and the ticket inquiries go to the Maritime Garage office, and also the staff that you have here for the parking authority, they are the ones that help to staff the citations where all of the beach ticket receivers come in. So it really helps from our standpoint to be able to support the signage down there in the sense that it actually alleviates a large number of man hours on our team end when we could be focused on other things, not dealing with the beach tickets.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jess. You know, I think there's a part of the process that we have built. There's a small disconnect because Parks and Rec don't really get the communication of where the issues reside because they almost exclusively come to us. So there's a good chance that they're unaware of how much confusion there is down there sometimes. So I think this is a good opportunity to make sure we, communicate with other departments within the city to help just streamline the process and make sure everybody understands what's going on out in the street.
Hey,
I just want to add
real
one
quick.
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Mike. I just want to bring to everyone's attention, I know James is already aware of it. The Calf Pasture Beach will go through a major project renovation, hopefully next year. So whatever signs you guys are proposing, just keep in mind that it may need to be changed or adjusted the location. So I know that Ken is sharing the proposed drawings already with you guys, so you can look at it. So I think that we are not going to be able to do the project for the beginning of the year. So we plan to start right after Labor Day. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was able to see that today as well. So we're making sure we take all of that into account because, we don't want to make a bunch of changes and spend a bunch of money if something's just going to be completely dug up, in the near future. But we also want to make sure that we're taking care of the citizens and the visitors as best we can in between now and then. So we'll find that sweet spot and we'll get it done.
Okay, fair enough. I was in communication with Eric. He had to step out to another meeting, so we've lost Eric. Okay. All right, old business. Is there an update on our sign for I guess that's Webster, right?
Yeah.
There is, yeah, tomato.
Yeah.
Give me a second here. I'm just gonna set this up and share my screen with you so you guys can
good.
see the pictures.
And unfortunately, Eric stepped off and we actually were able to get in what
Yeah.
he wanted to see, so.
His
All right,
loss.
Can you guys share see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so this is kind of the simple design of what we came up with and working with Snyder Group. They came back with a couple of iterations, some of which had some after debate, some interesting flaws that we didn't think about beforehand. One of them had the actual font color alternating between orange and blue. Which it looked sharp, but during the deeper dive when talking about it, I thought, if in the future businesses start to change again, because it's in alphabetical order, we may end up with, orange, orange, blue, 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 orange, and then it just kind of ends up getting all out of whack and looking a little crazy again. So we decided to go with the same color font throughout all of the signs. We'll be painting the backdrop blue. It's some sort of faded red / wood brown-ish something now. So we think throwing the logo blue on the background, keeping the Sono Plaza up top, changing the color, putting our logo on there. The sailboat, as Eric was hoping, is now, we're gonna be removing that sailboat. It turned out it was in pretty rough shape anyway, so keeping it wasn't really worth it. It wasn't cost effective, and it didn't even really make sense for our design there in the lot.
We'll just tell him it sank.
Sailboat sank. That works.
I think we're
so,
gonna
yeah.
save it off and give it to him though. Like we can wrap it up
Yes.
for him.
Oh my god!
Right in his
And
front window. Yes.
Christmas
Right?
is-
Yeah, I think,
Christmas
yeah.
is coming.
Now he's not here, so we get to all vote on that. Yeah.
Yes. That is definitely his Christmas present.
The only slight difference that you'll notice is at the very top of the sign, it says, just says Park Norwalk in the text. In order to get something to present to you guys today, that part didn't actually get done in this design, but it will be our actual Park Norwalk logo, not just the text on the top. And then the individual business signs will also be interchangeable. They'll be easy to move and update as we see fit, or whoever comes in and whoever leaves. And this will also just kind of brighten it up, make it easier to see from the street as you're coming through. And as we start to go through the full branding process throughout the city, it's just another thing that screams, hey, this is where you can park. I think it looks good.
It doesn't feel like it's alphabetical.
So for some reason, we just got these final designs today. The previous ones all were in alphabetical order.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm just assuming when she updated this, they flip-flopped somehow.
Now, are these plates that are going on the board?
Yeah,
So that when the retails swap out change, they're somewhat simpler thing to do.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it just gives us it enhances the long-term viability of the sign.
Mhm.
What happens if somebody moves and they subdivide the space into 2 stores?
So right now, based on all of the available spaces, there are 3, I think it's either 3 or 4 empty units in there now. So the space, the board will be built to have space for those empty units. If there is a subdivide, we'll just have to kind of roll with the punches at that point, because it's just something you can't predict. We don't know how many, if we could end up with another 25, who knows? It's hard to predict how many people can subdivide. So for now, I think we just go with what we know, and then we can kind of roll with the punches at that point.
This was really looking at like, what can we do as the most cost-effective option without redoing the whole entire sign? Just get in there just to get it looking a little bit better, get some of the rough portions out, but address some of the needs of just not having had this updated in a number of years. So this was the most cost-effective solution for us to get where we are. So copying basically what it is here, and then painting. And as we look further, and the top board was rotted, and so that would just be replaced as it is now, and we'll get rid of the sailboat and just put it with our logo.
I think it's fine, and I don't want to complicate it, but I have a question. Do you think
Sure.
there should be something on this sign that speaks to the parking, or the cost of the parking, or the hours of the parking, or something like that?
So that's something that we thought of, but the sign is only so big right now, and there's just so many businesses. It was very, very difficult to find a way to put it on there, and on there large enough where you can still read it while driving. We don't want to have to make people slow down to try and squint, thinking that maybe this is the only time they see the parking rates. But they are, the parking lot is loaded with signage on how to pay and the rates and all of that. So I think that kind of takes care of itself once you get in the lot.
And I think part
Okay.
of that, Mike, is also looking a more in-depth look at our signage, which will be a next phase, and then
Right.
getting maybe that as the entry point into the parking facility.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Great. When are you gonna do it?
I want to get it done as soon as possible, especially while the weather's still nice. We just got these final plans yesterday, and I wanted to just double check with you guys before we move forward with anything. But I think we're gonna hit the ground running, and I'll be able to provide you guys an update on when we can get it done. Personally, I'd like it done before the next parking authority meeting. But you know, sometimes those plans change, and the parking authority meeting is a little early next month due to the holiday.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I'm shooting for.
And it is two-sided.
Yes, that's correct.
Did you get a cost? Is it
No,
inside?
no, not
Can
yet.
we do our budget? Okay,
Not yet.
okay. Any more questions? Judd?
No, it looks great.
All right,
Cool.
great. Let's see, next we're
James.
looking at the, an update on the rebranding process.
Yep.
So I'm gonna share my screen again. Or a different screen, I guess.
So I think Rocky showed the big one, and kudos to the guys for actually getting that done. The parking sign that was on the Yankee Doodle garage was in desperate need of repair. It was peeling away. So Rocky saw that one, and then so this is the replacement of of just the smaller wayfinding signs that go nearer to the lot, that the where you see the P in the wave. So this just gets it a little bit clearer. Really want to show you kind of like the arrows don't pay too much attention to it. They're just there to as placeholders to see where they are. I think that what we would like to propose to you guys is looking at option 2. That has it becomes a little different than your traditional street sign, so where it's outlined in the orange. And then it then has the parking blue. You'll see the bottom portion of it also has it's a blue on blue, but just has a little texture into it with the P logo in there. So we've been working on this with the Snyder Group on a couple of different options. This was, I think, very showing some good work from those guys and highlighting that. And we thought, when we get these in combination with the Sono Plaza sign, that we do a little announcement of like our new logo-ish. These will be the largest customer-facing things, and I think after we get to here, and when we get the Sono Plaza sign out, the next sign that we want to look at is having the same branding effort look at the Haviland deck too. So thoughts on option 2?
Next.
Yeah, I like 2.
I like
I like
it.
it.
Nice.
I like to.
All right, we'll start
And-
to work on that. So that was really
Eric
the
likes
biggest.
it too.
So they got their business cards, so that was the other portion of it. So slowly but surely we're starting to get the branding underway. They took a pretty good inventory. This was the second big hit to go after, so we are on our way for people to see a new, clean, fresh look with Park Norwalk.
Is the new logo up on the website? Or-
It is a task for the Snyder Group to do. I don't believe they got it complete yet. They were building the
Okay.
website with just cleaning it up a little bit. But it is their task to get the website with the branded effort in there.
Excellent.
We
All
can
right.
we can follow it up. We can probably keep this as a ongoing item just to see as new things come on board. So you see each of the steps. It's a pretty there's a lot of signs around, right, Rocky?
Yeah.
So it'll be some effort to make it happen, but we'll start to whittle away at it.
Nice. All right, excellent. Well, yeah, and as I always say, more pictures, more better. Share the screen and show us what you guys are talking about. We love that. We love that. I am still pushing Rocky to come up with a bloopers reel for us. I know his cameras are everywhere in the parking world, and I know he finds some fun things to show us every month, I'm sure. from bloopers of Parker's.
Yeah,
But
we have- that's gotta be off record though.
yes, of course, after the scene. Does anybody have anything else? Judd, do you have any new business?
Yeah, two
Two.
things. Only take an hour.
Okay.
Over on Wall Street, there's a luggage shop. I was in there last week doing some business, and wherever I go, I always ask about parking, asked about the new spaces in front, said they're okay, but this is the manager of the parking store. He said 15 minutes is not long enough. He said most of his clients stay 18 minutes. And so they get tickets in the 15-minute spots. This is what he told me. He also said that some people are confused about which spot is 15 minutes. Is it two spots that are 15 minutes, or is only one? And then the last thing, behind that building on Isaac Street. Can I share my screen here for a minute?
I don't know.
Here we
No.
go. Yes, there we go. There's a parking area for the apartments over the luggage store. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay.
You're gonna click on the picture.
Yeah, so he said that often people park and block these cars, and he asked if we could define where people could park on this street. You know, I don't know what you call those triangle things the triangle stripes that you paint on the street, end caps or something like that.
Judd, could
Show
you
it.
send me that picture and we can take a look at it? I can't see it from here, but
You're not,
if
does
you can send
anybody
me it, we
see
can
it?
take a look. It's two those, you only have the thumbnail version of it up.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So if you just email it to me, we could take a look at the street.
Okay, okay.
What authority do we have on Isaacs?
Well, the
Is that-
public right of way we have, yeah.
That's a
So-
patrollable street for us?
Yep.
And then the other thing, Jim, and I think I talked to you about this a long time ago. I don't know if you, again, you probably can't see this, I'm guessing, right? But
No,
there's, and Mike Yosak, I don't know if you're still here in the meeting. I talked to you about this over the years. Between Mechanic Street and Water Street, where Bank of America is, on
Yeah.
Wall, there's a dedicated right turn lane there. There's also an entry door into Bank of America, and there's an ATM in there. Seems to me like a good spot for a 15-minute spot right there. And again, I'll send you pictures if you want, Jim.
so we will be, we will reach out to you guys afterwards, but we've signed a contract. We're engaging a firm to redesign Wall Street, and we're gonna do a presser on Friday. So we'll talk a little bit more offline or just on that, but know that we're looking heavily on Wall Street.
Yep, no, I've heard through the grapevine you hired someone and all that, and my thinking is if this is doable, it's along the lines of the 4 spots that you guys put in a couple months ago in front of the coffee shop and stuff. So I'll send you the pictures on it.
Okay,
All right,
yep,
and that's it.
all righty.
So can you look into Isaac Street for this guy?
I'll look at it. I just can't see. So I want to see what you're talking about, and I'll take,
Okay.
we'll take a look at it. Yeah.
All right, will do. Sounds
All
good.
right.
Yep.
I hope everybody has a happy and safe Halloween. Don't eat all the candy in one sitting, please.
Easier said than done.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I am here. I move we adjourn.
Second? All those in favor?
I.
Thank you all. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Good
Halloween.
night.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Good night.
Bye.